You know him. You love him. He's got the best skate park in America. He's got the best podcast in America. And he's got the best coffee in America. Welcome on, my friend Tim Pool. Is that Tim? Tim! Oh my God, Tim, you're there!
Can you hear me?
Yes, you sound great! Oh my God! My producer Jimmy said you were going to come on. Jimmy, didn't you say it?
I said that. I said that. I was racist to the guests.
And you said Tim Pool's too cool. You said Tim Pool's too cool to come on the show. You're getting fired from your job, Alex. Tim Pool's never going to associate with you. Remember, you said that, Jimmy, and you're wrong.
I would not shut up about it. You are correct. So, Tim, it is so good to virtually meet you. And I'm sorry I said those things.
You'll never see him ever again, Jimmy, you idiot. Okay, Tim, real quick, I want to ask you something. We only got you. You got a great show this evening. Everybody's freaking out about Tucker and Nick. I love it. You know my opinions. I wanted to interview the craziest people. But do you, let's just be an honest criticism. Do you think he should have pressed him like he pressed Ted Cruz? Like, did he miss the boat? Because I don't really think so, but what do you think?
I'm not here to police Tucker Carlson's opinions. Tucker Carlson can have whatever opinions he wants. And it seems like there are a lot of people who want to tell Tucker or tell you or tell me what opinions we're supposed to have. And so the fact that they're outraged over this Nick thing is totally fake. I'll tell you why. Because I've had on my show communists that are in favor of abortions up to 9 months and sex changes for kids. And people on the right, they go, yeah, you debate. Man, that clip was awesome, Tim. And then we announced that we're going to have Nick on the show, and they're attacking me and they're insulting me. We haven't even had him on the show yet. Like he rescheduled, yeah. and they're posting like, oh my God, look how Tim has fallen, blah blah blah. You don't even know what we're going to say yet. So I don't believe any of the Tucker criticism is legitimate. I think they just don't like Nick's opinions. And I'll tell you what the truth is. And this is bad for the right. They're acting like Nick is such a threat, you can't interview him. Mm-hmm. But they don't care when you interview communists. And I think it's really obvious why, because these conservatives know that you bring on a communist, no one's going to agree with them. But they fear you bring on Nick Fuentes and people might. That's why they don't want you to platform him.
No, that's exactly right, because Nick Fuentes is actually likable, and his arguments are actually, they align more with the audience that they're trying to be a part of. So I think that's why Nick is a bigger threat than Hassan Piker, and it's obvious why. You can see the reaction. So, Tim, we got a big announcement, the culture war, the pimp on a blimp. You've been so gracious. The show here at the Blaze, we got a lot of things cooking, but, we're just going to be very vague about stuff. But so November 8th, we get to do a live show in D.C. with Emily Saves America, Myron, and Brian Shapiro. You went viral for yelling at him. He's a nice guy, but an idiot. What did you think about that and those viral clips?
No, I agree. Yeah. You're right. He's a nice guy, but you know what it is? What I find with all these liberals that debate, they're motivated not by what's true or how a system functions. They're motivated by what people think. So almost every debate is, hey, I don't like Trump, therefore the facts about him are true. And my argument is, I don't care if you like him or don't like him, are the facts true or not? And then when I find out like the 34 felony counts are fake and have no underlying crime for the first time in U.S. history, aggravated charges, no underlying crime, my attitude is, oh, so that's fake, that's not real. But these people don't care because they hate Trump. They're emotionally attached to their hatred. So anything bad about Trump must be correct, regardless of the facts they support it. The debate's ultimately going to come out. And this is what I said to Brian Shapiro. I said, I don't know why we're debating if you don't know anything about these facts. If your argument is, I don't like Trump, my response is, okay, that was always allowed.
Yeah.
If we're going to argue the facts, well, you're ill-equipped for it.
Well, and if you're going to argue the facts, it's on appeal. So, it's the case is still pending. So, I think that was kind of that was like the whole Trump card where he even admitted that you were right. So, no, you crushed him in that. But can you tell us a little bit, Tim, with the Boonies, I know you're creating live skate content. You're doing the Culture War. Michael Knowles is doing a similar show. We love Daily Wire, Michael Knowles. But can you tell us a little bit about Culture War and why you want to do live debates and why that's so important when you see Nick and all of the people that are getting mad and Nick and Tucker having a conversation?
I mean, for several reasons. I mean, for one, the Culture War show that we do, it's like at a bar, everyone's laughing. It's entertaining. So it's sort of fusing, it's taking a comedic element into the political debate space that we think can help bring in regular people to have a good time. The good time and the laughs can help diffuse some of that heightened tensions between left and right. And, at our first pilot episode with Pisco, the liberal guy, he pulled some like semantic debate tactic and mocked me. And then I waited for the right moment to spring it back on him, and everyone started laughing at him. And then he fist bumped me. He's like, you got me. Because it was more like, we disagree, but we're getting along. We're having a good time. So I think it's a great opportunity to have a laugh with our friend Alex Stein at a bar with a bunch of people. And, we're going to get heated because it's what we do. But I feel like it's kind of a dam in the political tensions that if we can have liberals willing to have this debate and we can share this among left and right, then maybe we won't break past the point of no return. To be honest, I don't know if it's possible. Maybe it's not possible. But we're trying, and we're having a good time doing it.
No, we are. And there's something different. Like, we can yell into a microphone all day in front of a camera, but when you do it in front of a live audience, just the stakes are higher. It makes it more entertaining. And so that's why I think that's what separates this show from all other shows that you see because of the live element. So it's incredible. Okay, Tim, what do you got for us? So before you go, I know you're busy. Thank you for coming on. And finally, I consider you one of my good buddies, and I had to beg you to come on, which I appreciate you making time. I know you're busy. But my point is, I can't believe this is my last week on the blimp. Tim, can I move in? Do you have an extra bedroom? I need one of the trailers. Can I move in to
You're gonna move to DC, Alex?
No, I want to be in Charlotte. I don't think you live in DC, Tim. That's one thing. I think I'm going to be living in West Virginia is where I'm moving right now. So
DC area. It's the same thing.
DC's
we do have a blimp.
Enough. Yeah, you do have a blimp there. I know. You do accommodate
maybe we just
me
put
well.
your face on it and fly it around.
You accommodate me too well, so Tim, I would never complain. No, I'm telling you, as my friend, Tim, the fact that you associate with me is an honor and privilege, and I know that you and I teaming up with your clout and my wherewithal, we can book some incredible shows, and we can make a show that's going to change the whole entire internet landscape. So it's an honor and privilege to even be a part of a project with you. And everybody needs to go support Tim and all of your hard work at the Boonies. And last thing I want to say, those Liquid Death douchebags, really and truly though, that guy's crashing out. Do you not kind of feel sorry for them? I started to feel sorry for the guy towards the end of it.
I mean, I do, because he was tweeting at people like days later.
Yeah.
And here's the truth. When we wrapped that debate, I was just like, all right, well, if you're going to change the marketing, then that's really my only complaint. I like the drinks. So if you mean it, then do it. He's like, yeah, for sure. And what ends up happening is a bunch of people are tweeting about this $1 million bet he made. Yeah. So I responded with, give the $1 million to Five Gyres. It's the company he's already partnered with. Basically what I said was, it's over. I literally said, the $1 million bet, give it to the people you are already giving it to. Like, that's it. Nothing happens. There's no beef. He got mad and tweets demanding I give him a public apology. And I'm just like, holy crap. Like, this dude, like, it was over. And I said, fine. So we filed an FTC complaint.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's filed. It is filed. And we contemplate, there's 3 principal points. We contemplated doing a press release for it. And we're like, maybe we want to wait a little while before we do like a press release. Like, look, man, I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. I did.
Tim, that's the problem. Is never pick a fight with Tim Pool. I'll tell you this much. Like, Tim, it would never pick a fight with Tim Pool. I'm serious, but keep going. I'm not going to get into anything else.
He could have walked away and I was fine with it, but he showed that he as a CEO was unwilling to accept fault, to admit fault, and to recognize the errors that he made. I said, okay, this guy is too big for his britches. And so here's the thing. He tweets at me like, if you're going to make a legal complaint, you can talk to my lawyers. And my response was, I don't need to talk to your lawyers. Your lawyers can talk to the U.S. government. The FTC is a government department.
Yeah.
They're going to go after you. I got nothing to do with it. Yeah. So we sent it off. I called my lawyers. I said, here's the podcast. Watch it. Here's my argument. I wrote up a draft. They went through it. They structured this whole thing out. All the arguments we have about deceptive practices, like you can't say death to plastic and then sell people plastic, right? That is misleading.
Well, it's misleading because you sell it based on the fact that you're giving it away. That's part of the marketing of it. So it's false advertising.
Not only that, but there's 2 factors to the death to plastic. It's that the implication is that there's no plastic in the product. You're buying something that's plastic free. He even acknowledged on the show, but the other thing he said was infinite recyclability, which is a lie that he's been getting away with. Here's the truth. Aluminum is infinitely recyclable, but still requires what's called virgin aluminum for structural support for new products. So you can argue as a marketing term, infinitely recyclable. What he's done is He's taken that, what applies to aluminum, and applied it to his cans, which have ink and have, presumably ink, and have plastic liners, which can't be recycled. So when you tell someone, death to plastic, our aluminum cans are infinitely recyclable, you are saying to them, there's no plastic, especially when the dude goes on his website and says plastic can't be recycled. He's implying his cans don't have any. And so that is deceptive and misleading, and there's a lot of people pissed off about it. And all he had to do was say, you got me, you're right, we made a mistake. Instead, he said, F you, you apologize to me and my company. For him lying? I ain't doing that. So I called my lawyer and said, write it up, let's roll, and we sent it out.
Yeah, well.
So we'll see what happens. And it's crazy. The dude, I tweeted at him like, I feel bad. I'm like, bro, you need media training, you need legal training, because you're tweeting now. This was like a week or two ago. Somebody tweeted with someone with 15,000 followers that he had committed fraud, effectively saying that he committed fraud because he claimed they never gave 10% donations, despite their website saying it. And then he went on to say, we're going to fire the guy who wrote that. Bro, they claimed it for years. They were giving 10%.
On the website. I saw the way back when you pulled it up. Yeah, they was on their website.
It's not just that, though. There's 3 years of sources we found where third-party sources were saying they claim 10%. So what happens is this woman tweets, he responds with his legalese, we have always given the appropriate amount of donations. And I'm just like, dude, if you would just shut up, you would not have to try to refute accusations of fraud. And then he finally stopped tweeting, and I'm like, geez. So we were going to do a press release on the FTC complaint, but I'm kind of like, I don't know if I need to stress this guy out anymore. He's gonna I can't imagine that he keeps his job. Look, if he's got investors like Live Nation or whatever,
it's a publicly traded company. I mean,
right?
That's the thing. It's maybe he's on the outskirts already. Maybe that's why he's worried. That's why I think it's weird that he's reacting like this, because if you are the CEO of a company, you don't get involved in Twitter beefs with Tim Pool, with anybody. I mean, first of all, not a person that has a huge following, and second of all, not with a 15,000 account and giving some smaller account clout. So
it was wild. I think, he's never been challenged before. He's been a small company for a long time. He doesn't realize that he's in the big leagues now with $333 million in sales. And that when you're selling 1,000 cans a week or whatever, and you say death to plastic, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But when you're stocked up at Live Nation events and you are arrogant in how you approach this, you're going to find more and more people getting angry. And I'm going to say last time, all he had to do was just tweet and be like, dude, we really didn't even think about it. We are sorry, we're going to fix it. Instead, he was just like, nah, I can do what I want. My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself